This presentation, titled IAF Cert Search, the Global Certification Database Users Need to Develop Certified Supply Chains, comes to us from Nigel Johnston. Nigel is the founder and CEO of Quality Trade, an IAF Database Management Committee participant for the International Accreditation Forum. Quality Trade is a technology company which creates software exclusively for the accredited network to improve integrity and value of accredited certification. Quality Trade has worked with accreditation bodies since 2013, and more recently with the IAF in developing the world's first global database for accredited certifications and the world's first trade marketplace for certified companies, which includes more than 1 million trade opportunities. Nigel's passion is helping businesses and governments develop certified supply chains which have a positive economic, environmental, and social impact. Prior to founding Quality Trade, he held the role of CEO at URM Group, a multinational environmental services group. And with that, take it away, Nigel.
Okay, thank you, Mike, and thank you, Exemplar Global. Just to get started, I'd like to point out the fact that in today's environment, it is really difficult and in some cases impossible to verify accredited certifications. And that's not practical in today's international trade environment. Quality Trade's research suggests that there's some 1 million companies claiming to hold accredited certifications when they don't, whether they be counterfeit certifications, non-accredited, suspended, withdrawn, or expired certification. As a result, this creates significant risk for users across their supply chain. As we all know, a huge amount of work goes into obtaining an accredited certification, including internal audits, external audits, systems, processes, resources, management time. It's really important that we ensure that the certificates that have been obtained by these organizations can be verified. The International Accreditation Forum, the IAF, is a global association of accreditation bodies, regional and accreditation groups, certification body associations, industry associations, and stakeholder organizations, all working together to provide accredited certification of management systems, product, processes, services, and personnel. The way I like to see the IAF is some form of an organization which is like the United Nations, all different government accreditation bodies and other groups working together to oversee and govern the industry. The IAF's objective is to develop and maintain a multilateral recognition agreement, the MLA, among global accreditation bodies. Also, to act as a forum to facilitate global trade, to develop harmonization of certification best practices, to promote accredited certification. The IAF slogan is certified once, accepted everywhere. If we just look a little bit about the hierarchy of accredited certification, starting from the organization gets certified by an accredited certification body. The certification body has been accredited by an accreditation body who is also a member of the IAF and a signatory to the MLA. As I touched on at the beginning, some of the challenges that the IAF and the accredited network face is that accredited certifications are so high in value that some companies claim to hold them when they don't. There is a significant number of companies out there claiming to hold accredited certifications in the market when they don't. It is also difficult to distinguish an accredited certification from a non-accredited certification, and it is difficult at times to validate legitimate accredited certifications. So for accredited certifications to be accepted everywhere, users need to be able to verify them. This slide is to depict the challenges the user faces when trying to work out whether it's an accredited certification or not. On the left-hand side, there's the challenges of trying to work out whether it is a real certificate or not, whether the certification body is a non-accredited. You know, that's difficult for the user to figure out. On the IIF side, on the accredited side, there's also those layers of whether the IIF accreditation body is a member and MLA signatory to a particular standard, whether their certification bodies and accreditation bodies have been accredited to those standards. The mere fact that there's over 4,000 certification bodies around the world, many of the certification bodies have foreign language websites and registers, which is difficult for users to navigate. Many of the certification bodies don't have registers. So there is a huge amount for the user to try and think about and work out to find out if that certification is legitimate. And the reality of the situation is that for users, this is probably what their the supply chain looks like. In many cases, they will have suppliers with valid, legitimate, accredited certifications. However, there'll be suppliers who have certificates in there that may have expired, may be counterfeit, may be suspended, etc., without their knowledge. So this is where the risk comes in for the user across their supply chain. The concept of IIF Cert Search is to ensure that the certificate is valid. But to do that, you need to verify 3 different sources of information. You need to ensure that the certificate is valid from the certification body and in date. But you also need to ensure that the certification body has been accredited to issue certifications for that standard. And then the last step is to make sure that the accreditation body is an IIF member, but also an IIF MLA signatory. With the global database, this is how a supply chain should look like for a user if they're trying to ensure that every supplier in their supply chain does hold a valid accredited certification. And this will reduce the risk for the users across their supply chain and maximize the transparency and compliance for that user. We'll now talk a little bit about how the database works. The IIF Cert Search database receives information from IIF in real time, and that information provides the updated information on the accreditation bodies who are members of the IIF and their MLA status. All of the accreditation bodies, the MLA accreditation bodies, and there's 68 of them at present, they provide data into IIF Cert Search on their certification bodies. They detail all of the accredited standards and their current status. The certification bodies provide data on their clients, on the certifications. They provide information to ensure that the certificates are valid. And so together with the 3 sources, as I've said, that's how we can be sure that that certificate is a valid accredited certification. By providing the global database to the industry, what is likely to happen is that we'll see a downward trend on counterfeit certificates and those organizations claiming to hold a certification when they don't have a legitimate one, and a rise in valid accredited management system certifications, which is a win for users and a win for certification bodies and the wider accredited network. If we look at the timeline it's taken to get to this point, it's been fairly long. Going back when the concept was raised with the IIF in 2014, there's been a series of votes across the IIF members to approve the principles to conduct the independent tender process to the point where Quality Trade was selected to develop the database. We built the first prototype, which was demonstrated in 2018. There were changes to the principles of the database after feedback from the IF members in March 2019. We went live in October last year. And as of today, we have all 68 MLA accreditation bodies have activated their accounts and uploaded their data. There's now near 1,000 certification bodies who have activated their accounts and who have uploaded near 435,000 certificates as of today. This slide is talking about the governance. So the IAF established the IAF Database Management Committee, and this includes representatives from accreditation bodies, certification bodies, and industry. The role of the DMC is to manage the IAF Search database to serve the interests of the IAF, accreditation bodies, certification bodies, certified entities, and industry. Also, the role of the DMC is to manage the technology contractor to make sure that we built and maintain the technology to ensure all data is protected. The database is growing more and more support, particularly from user communities. Governments, regulators, small, medium, and large organizations are very much pushing to see the database fully populated. Many industry bodies, automotive, aerospace, food, telecommunications, also see the benefit of the database and would very much like to see full participation so that the database can be that source of truth for accredited certifications globally. As you can see, since launching last year, that the certification bodies opting into the marketplace, into the database and uploading their data continues to rise. Now we'll talk about data security and data protection. In the past, there have been other attempts of databases and registers at the accreditation body level, certification body level, industry association level. And unfortunately, some of those attempts resulted in misuse where maybe another certification body misused the data for poaching reasons and things like that. So data protection and data security was the cornerstone of the IF Search database to make sure that any data that was uploaded into the database is protected and misuse is prevented. So as a technology company, we created controls to protect the data from external users, internal users, and technology, and ourselves, employees within our company. Looking back at the issues that happened in the past, very much comes down to the technology itself and the fact that other databases, you could see lists of certifications. So you could see a list of certifications by certification body, accreditation body, standard, etc. The difference with IF Search is that you can't generate lists of any kind. There's no way you can generate a list by certification body, by standard, by country. It's all about verifying individual certifications. So those certifications where you know the company name or certificate ID, you must know the company before you can verify them. Other controls that we have to prevent misuse from external users is we provide capture codes and internet security tools to ensure that it is a human using the database. Every bit of activity is tracked through the database, whether that be IPs and when users have logged in. It's important to note that the tool is a software as a service tool. So as the contractor, our part of the the database is providing that software. But the IF, the ABs, and the CBs, certification bodies, they control and own their own data. So it's their responsibility to manage their data, and they have full control over it. Users who are coming to the database to search and verify certifications, they are limited to 3 searches. And then if they create an account and log in and identify themselves, they can increase their certifications to 10 certifications per day. Putting the users behind the login also means that we can track their use, but also provide greater features for them, like search histories and watch lists and things like that. IF also can give permission for some users, whether it be regulators or large organizations that need to verify more certifications. Any user is automatically blocked if they breach any terms of conditions. And it's an important fact that certification dates, even of known entities, are not visible, only an indication that the certification is valid. There's significant other controls in place, which I won't go into great length today, about encryption of URLs, encryption of data in the database, and things like that, that just ensure that no data can be misused. Here's a slide that just shows that the search engine, there's a search engine there, and it's difficult to see, but you must search by company name or certificate ID. Capture codes throughout the site. As the user moves through the process, there's a number of checkpoints to make sure that they're not a robot and not misusing the data. Here's just an image to show the daily search limits, and that there will be restrictions if they hit those limits. The login security is extensive. We use 2-step authentication. So you log in, but you also need to receive a code via SMS or other channel, so that we know that that is the user who's logging in. A quick slide, we use Amazon's virtual private cloud servers. All the data is encrypted. This is a slide depicting the activity log, so we know what that user has been searching within the database to make sure that there's been no misuse. And all of this is to protect the data for the certification bodies. It's important data for the certification bodies, so we must make sure that that's protected and do everything possible to protect their data. But looking into it from the controls from internal use, so whether that be the IAF, the accreditation bodies or certification bodies, they need to create an account and manage their information. But we've also got controls to make sure that those who do have accounts within those user types protect the data also. In the first instance, they receive an encrypted URL that's only for that, customized for that certification body. The certification body can create roles, so different user types have different access to information and features. All of their activity is also tracked, so edits, uploads, deletions. No CB certification body can see the data of another certification body. They too have 2-step authentication for their login and for when conducting important actions like deleting information and things like that. The CB has full control of their account. As I said, it's a software as a service. So they manage their data. It's their data. They own it. They upload it. They edit. They delete it. The users, whether the certification bodies and ABs, can delete their account in real time. And if an account or the data is deleted in real time, that's it. It's gone. There's no backup of that information. The certification body would have to re-upload it. Here's just an image of if the certification body does need to delete a certificate or all of their certificates or deactivate their account, they can do that very quickly in real time. Also, they need to receive a code to make sure that it is the user who has the authority to do that. This slide is more about Quality Trade as a company, and as a technology company, what we do internally to protect the data also. We're certified to ISO 27001 and also 27701. All of our practices meet GDPR, privacy laws, and other global regulations. As mentioned, we use Amazon's private cloud server structure, which is encrypted. All of our developers and those managing the technology have two-step authentication, and we track all of our use as well. Probably the most important part is the production environment. So as we develop and build new features and write code to improve the tool for users, we do that in a production environment. We don't use real data. So we're developing code with test data, and then when that feature is available, then we push it through to the live environment. We'll now go into some of the key features that are available for users. So a user who is searching certificates to verify suppliers that are either in their supply chain or prospective suppliers who may enter their supply chain, they have a search history. So they can go back and check when they searched that certificate, when they knew it was verified. They can add companies from their search history to their watch list. So ideally, a user can identify all of the suppliers in their supply chain and watch the certifications. The beauty of this is that they can be alerted in real time if there's been a change to the status of that certificate. Now that gives exceptional transparency for those users across their supply chain, to the point where if a certification body was out on site, found that they did not meet the standard of their certification and their certification was suspended or withdrawn, then that could flow through to the global database and the user would be alerted. This tool is very helpful for users because, as we know, within a supply chain, particularly if you're a medium or large organization, you've got many suppliers, and those suppliers have certification from certification bodies all over the world. So it's really difficult for them to monitor the status of certifications at present, and it's very reactive. So this way they can be alerted in real time and have full compliance across their supply chain. The IF Cert Search mark is a digital mark which can be placed on the website of the certified organization. There's embedded code that links to the status of certificates in the global database. So if the status of the certificate is suspended or withdrawn, then the digital mark will turn off in real time. But it also is another way to demonstrate that that organization holds a valid, legitimate, accredited certification. And if clicked on that link, they will be directed to their page in the global database. Another feature for those who participate in the global database is that they can participate in the exclusive trade marketplace for certified organizations. This is another tool that we've built for the industry, and the tool generates trade exclusively for those who have valid accredited certifications, who have been issued by certification bodies who have been accredited by IF member accreditation bodies. We started working on this project back in 2013. Now it has a significant large number of trade opportunities. There's now over a million trade opportunities available there for certified organizations. And it's another way that we can use technology to increase value, integrity, and awareness of accredited certification. If we talk about some of the challenges that we face with the global database, currently users are unable to verify all of the certifications via IF Cert Search, the global database, which is becoming problematic for the users. They're seeking to use the global database to verify. They're finding some certificates and not all. And that's because the principles enabled the database to be voluntary for certification bodies. And many certification bodies are activating and uploading their data, but the reality is we do not have every certificate included in the database at this time. Some government bodies, regulators, and small businesses are seeking for that to be fully populated, and the IF Database Management Committee is considering the best way to go about that at this point in time. The other challenge is that some certified organisations are requesting that their certifications be included, but at this stage, the certification bodies have not activated their account and included their data, so there is a bit of a lag there. So we are encouraging all certification bodies, when they are instructed to or requested to have that certification included, that they follow that request. And finally, if from a support perspective, if you are from a certification body, an accredited certification body, and you would like to learn more about IF Cert Search, if you would like to understand about the activation process, the data uploading process, or the security controls, or if you're a member of a certified organization who holds an accredited certification and you would like your certification included in the global database, or your supplier's certification to be included in the database, please contact at info@ifcertsearch.org and we'd be happy to help you. In this slide deck, I've also included some additional resources, so some demonstrations of the tool. This goes into detail about how to upload data as a certification body. It provides information on the automatic upload features, so a certification body can establish those automatic data feeds, and once they're established, it doesn't require any resources thereafter, but also other features that are available to certified organizations and users themselves. This video is a video of key industry stakeholders, industry bodies, accreditation bodies, representatives from the IF, talking about the need for IF Cert Search. And of course, the IF Cert Search website domain, there's a YouTube channel dedicated to IF Cert Search with detailed user guides and other information, and of course the IF website there. Thank you for listening to this presentation about the world's first global database for accredited certifications, IF Cert Search.
And thank you, Nigel Johnston, for that in-depth look at the IAF Cert Search database. And that concludes this presentation.